What It Takes Radio Company brings you another edition of the Interesting Ideas Podcast. I'm back. I'm seeking to survive a perfect storm of life's stuff. And maybe you can relate to that, and maybe I can be helpful. Let's see what happens. Well, greetings once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad that you can be with me here in the Magic Studio. Magic Studio 77, Radio Edge 77 from time to time, as we used to call it. And we are here back, and we've been gone for a while. We have had a perfect storm of situations, and perhaps you can relate to them too. But I'm pressing on, but I simply wanted to get connected and in turn show you that in spite of perfect storms, we will still be able to press on. Okay, the perfect storm that hit was that I went through last week, and it was software crashing time. We are making a variety of new adoptions so that we can do more radio, more television, and more expansion worldwide. And as a result of that, we had some updates to do, and we did them. And then there were problems that took place. And many of you know how frustrating it can be to integrate new and old and useful and somewhat different software systems and to make them work, and then to find out that even though you've done everything right, they don't work quite right. And so I was struggling not only with some other situations in life and business and family, but then I had software issues that not only took away from your productivity, but obviously take away from your money and time that you need. So I got through that, except that on last week, Friday, I noticed that I had, for some strange reason, I go out and I'm very, very good about my 1.5 to 2 mile morning walk. And when I came back, and for some reason, there was a rather strange feeling, kind of a dull ache around my chest. And I looked, and I didn't know what it was, but it was there. So, I'll see what happens. Well, come for Saturday, it was still there, and I was a little bit more concerned about it, and just a slight rash. It got worse. And then on Sunday morning, it was still bothering me, and I began to look around, and not only was it bothering me, but I was catching a little rash on the backside, and I said, something is wrong here. And sure enough, many of you have figured out that I went from software to shingles. And of course, you all know the situation. You haven't had anything like that for 25 years, 30 years. And they tell you, oh, it'll be $250. And I'm just fine. And so I didn't get I didn't get a shingles shot. But now I wish I had, because throughout the past Sunday until this Thursday, I have been doing battles with the shingles. And hopefully I'm winning. But what happened, of course, is, and those of you who have suffered through it, particularly when you're a little bit older, realize that it is truly a bummer. And it has been. And so I was putting together time to try, within the pain and the disruption of all stuff, put together my software and my shingles therapy. And by here we are Thursday, I think I can at least be back in touch. The medicine is working, but it is not done yet. And of course, it will not be done for some time. So there we go. Now, the reason I bring this up is, first of all, as one of my friends said, well, Stan, why don't you make sure that you could save maybe at least one person like me?" She said. "I've been thinking about whether I should get a shingles shot or not. And when I heard of your situation, I immediately called up and said, yes, I do." And so I've encouraged her to get her shingle shot. And maybe by doing this for you, I can help some of you make a smarter decision than I made. But software issues, we were able to helpfully get some people who, again, delegate everything but your genius, asking some other people to help me do that, pay the price for that. We were able to get that done. And when software is working, when the technology is working, it's wonderful. And in effect, now I'm discovering more and more that with the right technology, the right software, and now with our what I call STOSH, the robot, my AI partnerships are really helping me be much more productive, and we'll be able to have a number of things written and published. Uh, it is remarkable, at least in the arena that I'm working at, um, in terms of what it can do for you and how it will impact the entire communication business. I had to tell one organization that is sending out their regular little newsletter on a blog software. I said to my good friend, I said, "I'm sorry, but you're in the 1980s and it's not going to work for you. And I know you learned how to do it. I know you've been doing it for 20, 30 years, but it's not going to work in terms of your communication anymore." So that is where I'm at, to also remind you that what's going to happen is 25 will be transformational, if nothing else, because Donald Trump will keep pushing things forward. And there will be ups and downs and back and forth, but obviously we all know now that no matter how you feel about him, he's not one who will quit easily, and he's usually quite successful. So there will be a variety of transformations in government structures and government systems. This will affect the economic well-being of us all in one way or another. And again, the AI technology is going to mean that, again, software will have to be updated, and new ways of doing business are rampant among us. And this perfect storm is that leads to fretful questions. Um, First of all, you just, when things hit you, things about transcendence and uh, what life is all about. Oh, what should we do? How should we change our life? How should we then live? Those kind of questions uh, become a little more fretful. And if you're thoughtful, you have to deal with them. And I particularly have gone through, particularly in some of the ancient writings and old writings that I have found, is I have put down some fretful questions. Okay. Then I went back and took a look at something I had written many years ago, and I came up with what I had recommended for many of you and still do, is that you find a way in this streaming economy, in this age of speaking and teaching and talking around the world via radio, via video, via AI, that you have what I call some signature statements. And I went back and found that I had recorded a variety of them, and I said, And so I've resurrected some of the things that I know may help improve my brand and in my communication, to go back to put some of the memorable statements or signature statements, the Donald Trump, you're fired, that kind of things, though not necessarily that striking, but all of us need to have signature statements. And I was able to put some of those back together again. And I think I'll share them with you in a little class this week because it will be important for you as people are talking about your brand, your performance, your presence, how you are viewed in the media. Having that signature statement will be very, very important. So I'll be trying to encourage you how to do that. So software, bang. Shingles, bang. Fretful questions. And taking some time. And perhaps that was part of what I just had to just sit quietly for a long time. That's all I could do. Think and pray. That's all I could do. Maybe that was part of what I was meant to do in the last week and a half. And I hope I've used my sickness to good use. Maybe I'll find it was one of the better things that happened to me. And as soon as I recover, of course, I'm going to get a shingles shot. And I would encourage you to do the same thing too, if you haven't done it already. Best and blessings to you now. Please reach out to me, stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. By the way, the other piece I got done is for What It Takes Radio. That software finally got fixed. And so if you have a radio question, you can go to Stan, STAN, at witradio, WIT, radio.net. It's good to get these things done. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate the opportunity that I have to visit with you from time to time. We will be rolling out again the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience, the Christian Entrepreneur Network, how to be a world-class Jesus entrepreneur. Those are getting better, perfected, and polished. And they will be ready for at least a worldwide launching very shortly. And I think it will not only be interesting for many of you, it could be something that could make some difference in your life and make more money in your pocket. Yeah, those things would be nice if they could go together. Take care. Till next time, I'm Stan the Radio Man, and bye for now.